Good afternoon and welcome to the Illinois Farmers Market Association Farmers Market Master Series webinar, Social Media for Farmers Markets, Course 2, Facebook, sponsored by the Illinois Farm Bureau. My name is Deborah Kavanaugh Grant, and I'm an ILFA member, Secretary, and Chair of the Education Committee. Today, ILFMA welcomes Jennifer Newell, a digital marketing specialist who will discuss how to go live on Facebook and walk us through the steps to properly create a Facebook ad. Jennifer is a digital marketing specialist located in Central Illinois, representing businesses across the state. She loves helping small businesses thrive in today's market. This is a quote from Jennifer. I have enjoyed working with many different small businesses with product management, sales, and digital marketing strategy. I enjoy meeting new people and learning about their love of their community. Before we begin today's presentation, I would like to introduce Janie Maxwell. Janie is the Executive Director of the Illinois Farmers Market Association. She comes to ILFMA as a lifelong farmers market shopper, a registered dietitian with a background in program management. Janie is passionate about local food and farmers markets and their benefit to market vendors in the community. Janie?
Thank you, Deborah. Share my screen. All right, I assume you can see my slides. All right, great. Well, we're really excited to have all of you here today. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the Illinois Farmers Market Association as we get started. The Illinois Farmers Market Association supports local food and food systems, giving Illinois farmers markets and producers access to resources, education, and connections. We work kind of in three arenas. We do a lot of education and training like this webinar that we're doing today. We have other opportunities that we'll talk about in a minute. But we also do advocacy, which means standing in the gap between some of the policies that are at the state or the regional or the local level, and advocating for the needs of farmers market managers and farmers and vendors from farmers markets. And the other thing we do is we just try and promote farmers markets as much as we possibly can. What we'd love from you is to participate with us. We really would appreciate your partnership as we move forward. First step might be to join the Illinois Farmers Market Association. If you go to our website, www.ilfma.org, there's all the information you need about joining either as a friend or as a farmer's market or whatever category you find yourself in. There are some great perks and discounts if you become a member of the Illinois Farmers Market Association, but mostly we would just really appreciate your support as we support other farmers markets and maybe your farmers market and your business across the state. And then the other piece is our partnership with Market Maker and the Connect Fresh Collaborative. Well, the Connect Fresh Collaborative is a group of local food oriented members that share a database, and the database is Market Maker. And as you can see here, there's a wide variety of participants. Each of us have access to Market Maker or the website. On our website, it looks like a map. That's the access or entry into Market Maker from ilfma.org. The local food partnerships just continue to grow. Farm to School is not on this particular slide, but they have just joined us. And then Feeding Illinois, which is the network of food banks across Illinois, has also joined the network. So this is a great place to have your business or your farmer's market represented. We were really excited to expand the capacity of our Market Maker database so that it's much more searchable. But what we need all of you to do is to either create your profile or update your profile so that as much information as possible is in there so that you really are searchable. I gave the example that I've been asked how many winter farmers markets there are in Illinois. I've come up with a list of over 30. But if you do a search through Market Maker, you'll come up with 6. And so What that means is that even if you are hosting a farmer's market that meets during the winter months, if you don't indicate that in your profile, it doesn't come up in the search function. Or maybe those markets are just not listed. Winter markets might actually have to be listed as a whole separate farmer's market because they meet in a different place at a different time, different seasons, different vendors. But we would really appreciate your partnership in building this database. We don't control the data. Each person that creates a profile controls their own data. And so it's really important that you keep your data up. And oftentimes as things are passed from person to person, especially in the farmers market system, some of these things get lost. So certainly create or update your profile, include your logo, tag your vendors, have them also register, and tell as much of your story as you possibly can. Check off all the boxes that list your amenities. Do you take SNAP? Are you a link match participant? All of those kinds of things are options within the profile. Please go through and update as much as possible. Then all that data is in a phone app called the What's in Season app. It's available from our website. And yes, it does tell you what's in season, but it also will show all the farmers markets and the specialty crop producers across Illinois and some basic information about those particular markets. We do have resources and training. We will keep up with COVID-19. I thought maybe we could take this slide out by now, but with the surge in COVID cases, if the state changes any of their rules or their mandates, we will update the ILFMA guidance in partnership with the Department of Commerce, Department of Ag, and Department of Health. So that's what we've been doing during COVID, and we will continue to do that. We've been pleased to offer this series on social media. There is still another one on Monday if you haven't registered for that. We also have one coming up on the changes in the cottage food law on January 4th. And then we will be offering our certification program. Last year, we were really pleased to have about, I think it was 22 people complete the course. It's an intensive 9-week program that meets for 3 hours on Monday nights during that period of time. And we'd really encourage you to consider joining us. There's a flyer on our website that details more information, or just reach out to ILFMA and we'd be happy to talk with you about the program. We're excited. The board of directors of ILFMA just put together what we call our Winter Warmers Cookbook. And for a donation to ILFMA, you get a link to download that cookbook. And we're really excited about it. Yes, we love local food. Yes, we love cooking. A lot of these recipes actually reflect the heritage of the people that are part of the board of directors of ILFMA. So you don't want to miss, I think it's 31 recipes. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. Also, we have a farmers market network, market managers network on Facebook. If you're not part of that, please go ahead and sign up for that. It's a great place for dialogue with other farmers market managers or vendors about any of the topics that might be of concern to you. And I don't want to take all the time. I certainly want to leave more than enough time for Jennifer, but we're really excited. You know, within the industry, it's really well known. If you want to find out about farmers markets, if you want to collect metrics, as much as we hope that in Illinois, that means we go to our Market Maker Connect Fresh database and we have all that we need to know about farmers markets. But quite frankly, what's shared across the industry is you do a Facebook search, and that's where you find out everything you need to know about farmers markets. So with that in mind, Facebook is really important to farmers markets and their vendors, and we're excited to have Jennifer with us today. So turn it over to you.
All right. Hello. I think some of you guys were here the other day, and I am hoping that today is also a time of learning and a time where you can ask any questions and do all that sort of stuff. The class on Monday is one of my favorites coming up, just to tell you. We're going to talk about Reels and TikTok, and we'll actually make a few together. So then you'll have them when you leave the class. So Another thing I wanted to do today was I have a couple kind of like practice posts that I'm hoping in the chat you guys can interact, and hopefully we can have some fun together. So here we go. All right. So today in the class, we are going to talk about posting on Facebook, how to make just kind of a post be seen in general. But then we'll also talk about creating Facebook ads. So we take information that you're sharing, but you want to really amplify it and make sure that other people are seeing it. So we'll talk about how to create those ads. And then also we'll talk about going live. I think one thing we'll talk about, it's at the very end, but I just want to make sure I say it. I think especially for farmers markets, going live on your phone will be the best option because your venue is inside in the winter sometimes, but people want to see and what the field looks like. So your phone is really going to be the best option for that. So here we go. Why do you need Facebook? Because if you're like me, I kind of sometimes sit down in the morning and think, gosh, this is so much work, but we have to do it. I don't know what to say. Does it really matter what I post? And like Janie said, people are going to Facebook to find information about everything, right? So if they're looking for a farmer's market in their area, they may just start typing farmer's market. You might come up by your town or location, but people are looking to Facebook to see kind of what your market feels like and the vendors that you have, and see if it's something that they would like to go to. So number one, you want to make sure you build brand awareness and trust. That means in and throughout your posts, you want to kind of talk about who you are and what you do. That's really important. People should be able to kind of summarize that after looking at your social media posts and your website. The targeting with ads, we're going to talk about that when we actually create an ad together, but that is, you have a target demographic for your market. And I'm sure you've talked about that with people that you work with, and really you can target those ads to reach those people. Another way that Facebook really just helps businesses in general is by boosting your SEO, which means people then will hopefully take their traffic to your website, because that's really what you want them to do. Go learn more. Maybe they'll apply to be a vendor. Maybe they want to just know about the COVID precautions, about SNAP, something. That's where the real meat of the information is at. Another thing would be, it allows you to connect with your followers. I'm sure as a market manager on a Saturday, you are like running around, trying to put out fires, trying to help vendors. Some kid is lost, like the popcorn spilled, the whole thing. And you don't really have the opportunity to necessarily connect with your followers. And by using Facebook and Instagram, you can reply to comments, you can ask funny questions, and really get to know the people that are coming to your markets. Which also I will say about that is, and we talked about in the Instagram one, is you might meet somewhat of an influencer in your community, and it would be great to befriend them and start a relationship with them so they can also further share your information on their social media channels. The other thing is we'll look at is on Facebook in the business manager section, you can really analyze both your Instagram and Facebook posts, see which posts, go viral, see which ones people comment on. And so then as you're looking forward and planning, you can kind of decide to make posts that are similar to that. So here we go. Best practices, like I said, stick to your brand. Another thing that I think would be good is to make sure, I don't know about you, but have you ever gone to a Facebook page and you're like, I just want to email them. I don't want to message them. I want to email them. In the About section of Facebook, you can put your website, which is super important. If there's a phone number, an email address, so people can get in contact with you if they need to. You could also put in that area any links if you have a form for registration for vendors, or if you have some sort of activity for signing up. Another thing is to respond to messages, because let's say the people didn't take the time to look for your email address, they just are going to message you. Facebook allows you to set up automated messages, which is very helpful. I think that automatically, if you send back, thanks for reaching out, we will try to respond to this within 24 hours, then they know someone's going to see it and when to be looking for a response, instead of someone messaging you and then 30 minutes later doing it again and then doing it again. So that makes people, I think, just be seen and heard. And the last one, I talked about this before, but consistently post. And whatever that means for you, I hope at the end of today, you can kind of think, okay, we've been posting maybe 4 times a month, and it's when I am in my car before I pick up my kids. Let's try to really think backwards and look at, for you guys, you have an end date each week of when your market is. You have 7 days probably between markets. So you are every week leading up to that date. In our town, it's on Saturday. So if I ever say Saturday, it's because that's when ours is in our town. But you have a week to build up to let people know what's coming this week at the market. So if you consistently have some messaging each week about that, it's going to become common. People will interact, and then they'll get to know that, oh man, on Tuesday, they're going to tell me what the special is this week. Maybe there's a special on sweet corn. I will have you guys know, a side note, I'm not the best at farming stuff, and Natalie often helps me understand it. So if I say something like a corn special and you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, I probably just don't know what I'm talking about. So here we go. Why do you respond to a Facebook post? I want everyone to think for a second. And if you're willing to even type in the chat, when you are scrolling on Facebook, what makes you in the comment section say something? Think about that for a second. Natalie is sitting beside me, so I will sometimes have to kick her to make her answer. But why do you respond? Well, I think about why I would respond, and it might be because I know the person, right? Maybe I know the person and I want to say, hey, or I know that commenting on it will help their business. Yes, if you like the person and you have a relationship, that is really key. Oh, I like that one. I respond when I really like something or have an opinion. That's great. If you say, having a poll, and we'll kind of talk about that in a minute, but get people to answer and say, and it can be funny stuff, right? I still like to keep it lighthearted because there's a lot of non-lighthearted stuff on Facebook. Oh yes, tagging a friend that you want to see the post. That's right. Like, that Jennifer was looking for this product and there it is, and it's going to be there on Saturday. So you're going to tag your friend to make sure that they see it. And yes, sharing information that will just help other people. Here are some ideas. I go through a few different ways on how to make your posts better, things to think about. And then you could go back and you can kind of look at these as you're planning your posts for the week and kind of think, how can I use one of these suggestions to then go ahead and make a post for your market? So one way that a lot of people said was to get an answer back would be to ask a question. What's your favorite, winter thing to get at the market? A tip, I can think of a lot of things where people, are wanting to grow their own produce at home, and, your vendors and you are experts, how to do that. So, but you might throw out there, hey, does anyone know how to do this? People are going to get it. It gives a chance for your vendors to interact and just everyone collaborate together. And, with Facebook, the more it's commented on, liked, and shared, the more people see it. And they don't necessarily have to be fans of your page, but they are friends of yours. Experiences, especially right now, holidays, for Thanksgiving, what was your favorite dish you made from food at the farmer's market for Thanksgiving? Everyone's going to have it, bonus for a photo. Then you get people to interact. Now, when I say edgy, a controversial question, I'm not thinking like super, I'm like thinking, do you like red flowers or purple flowers? Something kind of fun. You can use a photo from the market. You can put them side by side. A lot of times on Instagram, the hashtag that is used is this or that. We talked about highlights in the last class. And if you are in Canva and you go to design and you search for a design, if you search for this or that, they have pre-made templates. So you could, for free, just put in the 2 types of things that you want people to say, which do they like better. Events, who's coming this week. And timely, there's, like I said, holidays, there's in Facebook Business Manager. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but there is near the scheduling option, it will say today is National Hot Chocolate Day, or today is National whatever the day may be. And those actually sometimes can really prompt something of a post, because not only is it fun, but you can highlight probably something that is in your market. So that's kind of a way to highlight your stuff. Like the, this or that, have people make a choice. You could also, if you were trying to change anything, maybe perhaps the entrance of the market. I'm sure that is somewhat controversial if you were to change it. But, if everyone, takes the bus and gets off here, and then you suddenly move the entrance, ask people what they think, or say, what would be the best entrance for you? Relevant images. Honestly, Facebook is not as pretty, we use that loosely, as Instagram, because on Instagram you see the focus is more on the image and the beauty, and Facebook you have an opportunity to really share more information and words, but beautiful images always get a reaction. And I said this last time and I mean it, like, you guys have beautiful content. That should be the easiest part for you. You could walk through the market on one of your market days and take several photos, and they're going to be beautiful, because I know that the produce and whatever people have brought, it's handmade, it's made with love, and it's just probably colorful, and people will really like that. Another option would be to engage with other brands, meaning find that influencer in your town, have them come do perhaps they could come and share information on their page, from your page, get their followers to like your farmers market page. Those would be some great options. Another thing, make sure you respond to comments. Not only does that allow you to have a relationship with your followers and your fans, but also it knows that they know someone's listening. So, it always happens. Someone might make a comment and you don't have a chance to respond, but try your best to respond, or even have one of your volunteers, hey, if you ever see something and I didn't get to it, can you just answer them? Because they probably know the answer. One of my favorite things, make people laugh. There's a lot of heavy stuff, right, in the news, and then it's shared on Facebook, and it can kind of make the experience not so fun, but you have the opportunity to make people laugh. I'm sure there's some funny things that happen in your office, at the market, maybe a kid, I don't know, maybe the kid spilled the popcorn all over, or the gelato or something, but something that people will definitely comment on or just think is really funny. Another option is to actually ask your people like a call to action. So when you're making these posts, and maybe you have asked for do you like these pumpkins? Instead of just, and then you could put in instead of just a yes or no, perhaps you use a thumbs up emoji and a thumbs down emoji. And then people have to put that in the comments below. So once again, the post kind of has more reach because people are interacting with it. I think everyone would agree with this, that crowdsourcing would be a great way to kind of prompt people to talk to you on Facebook, because people have a lot of opinions, right? How to plant your garden, how to, create a fall decor with all the pumpkins and stuff from the market. Have people, share that and crowdsource how they do it. Another part of that would be to encourage sharing, right? Have people not only say what they do, but say, share a photo in the comments as well, to get, one, that will give you more photos that you could possibly use, and two, that will have people thinking more and seeing more when they're interacting with it on Facebook. Another thing, and I'll just briefly touch on it, with giveaways, there are a lot of rules with giveaways, and most people break all the rules, but I will encourage you to follow the rules. But one way to utilize a giveaway you can ask people a question and tell them to enter in or to answer in the comments below. They will understand that that's how they're entering, but you just want to make sure it's not a conditional statement, because Facebook will sometimes flag those posts and take them off. And I'm sure we can send you some information on that after this class, just to make sure you do that correctly. But encouraging interaction on posts for a giveaway, people love it, right? Even if it's like a $20 gift card to the market, people get super excited about that. Another thing that you guys could do with your vendors is really provide value for the people that are following along on your pages. They are the expert with whatever they are bringing to the market, and they can share their knowledge and about their product with your followers on the page. It's also another way to kind of cross promote, which goes to, if your vendor has a really awesome post on their page, you can share that post to your page, and then more people will see it. And hopefully you'll both get some more followers out of that, because maybe I went to the market every week, but didn't know that this person had a page where I could, pre-order my goods to make sure I got them. Another thing, trending topics. And that could be even something silly as, like, right now, if you're on Facebook, you're probably seeing lots of like the elf on the shelf, so you could, I'm just thinking, you could do like a find the elf each week at the market, and hide them or something somewhere. And then whatever people are talking about, if you can talk about it in a positive way, it just gives them and you an ability to talk about things and get people to interact with you. Are there any questions right now?
No.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. Here's some more, and then we're going to actually try some of these. But celebrate holidays. Okay, we had Thanksgiving, right? We have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, New Year's, lots of things are happening. And I'm sure that you probably have some thought into that when you're planning your market. If you have a theme for the market, or if there's a specialty like holiday market where people are specifically bringing stuff for the holidays, definitely you can share that, right? Tell people all about it. Oh, take a poll. Polls are super fun. Just the kind of like this or that, or, take a poll on who likes this, way of doing things, or do you serve apple pie or cherry pie, to see, kind of get the reaction from your people. Highlighting business milestones. I really like this because this goes back to your branding, because you get to share, like, we've been doing the market this long and this vendor's been here 30 years. And that goes back to then also creating just like, I know that vendor, so I'm going to like that. And I'm going to talk to him. And I really like that. Just people want to encourage people. And I think that's a way to tell people about what you're doing, and then the encouragement will follow. The other thing is going live with a behind the scenes look. So we will talk about the exact way to go live, but so BTS is kind of the hashtag behind the scenes, and people love to see what that looks like. You could do maybe in the office, you could do when people are setting up for the market, maybe when people are cleaning up, any of those things will allow people to kind of get a peek into what you guys do, and people love to see that. Okay, we're going to try it. So everyone, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Here's my photo. I stole it from our market, but I thought it was fair because we're talking about farmers markets. Here is a photo, and let's pretend we wanted to share this photo. And everyone, I want you to come up with a caption from maybe one of the ways we just talked about, and let's see what people come up with. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Oh, I like these. Talking about summer color. I like that one, Kathleen. What are those beans doing in the berries? Looks so fresh. I can almost taste them. Berries and cherries and peas. Oh my, cute. Hooray for the red, green, and blue. Super cute. I like the summer lovin' because that would definitely talk about when that stuff is in season. Ooh, I like that, Natalie, even though she's sitting right by me. If you could pick one. I mean, I love all those, you guys. That's great because those would get a reaction for sure. Some of them would get comments too. So, you know, more people are getting involved with that. All right, we're doing it again. Here's another one, 30 seconds. Flowers. I like those a lot. Let's see, we got, what's your favorite color of lily? Orange or yellow? John wins. Natalie says, wouldn't your mom love those? Smells like summer. Catch your dinner table on fire. I like all those. Those are super fun. And you know what? All of them are great. You could use any of them. I think people would react to them and people love to see what's actually at the market. I want to go back 1 second and just say, oh, I like that, a rainbow for your table. The other thing about doing this, I know it just seems silly because these aren't your images, but I know you have ones that are similar to this. And something about being consistent with your posting and kind of thinking out ahead and using the scheduling tools is that whatever's in season in the next month, you know that. And you most likely have photos from last year. So if you sat down and said, I'm going to do 3 posts a week, you could use probably 1 post from last year, talk about it, and do it all at the same time. So if there's 4 weeks in a month, you've got 4 photos of winter produce and just write those posts and schedule them and they're done. You're going to have events and holiday stuff, and you can talk about that. You can talk about branding about your market, but this is an easy, fun exercise that you can just do with beautiful photos that you already have. Okay, so now you have these beautiful posts, but you want to make sure people are seeing them. Or you have an event coming up and you really want to make sure the community knows that it's coming. Why should you use a Facebook ad? Well, it really is the best way to kind of target and pick the audience that it's going to be shown to. If you think about it, large news sources or probably some like local websites in your town, they may be posting 10 times a day, but I guarantee you are not seeing all 10 of those posts. So the fancy word is algorithm, and that just means it depends on what Facebook wants to show you. Even if you're a fan of my page, you may not see it. So by creating an ad, you can pick really like, I want people that are interested in farming or farmers markets. I want to make sure, and they live in this radius. That's who I want to target. And we're going to do one here hands-on in just a minute, but that's a way to kind of think about it. You can also set daily or overall budget for ads. Now, this is the big question, right? Like, how much should you spend on an ad? And Natalie and I were talking about this before, and that's a really hard question because I'm always a fan of staying within whatever the budget is. And so you have to look and kind of see, you know, this season, do I want to create ads for just overall awareness? Is it a new market? Do we just need people to know that we're in this parking lot once a week? Or is it we are having this huge grand opening market, or we're having this huge market where 3 markets are coming together and it's solely event focused and you want to focus the event? You might want to spend more money on a concentrated effort of that Or you can spread your budget out for the entire season with more branding, just so people make sure in their feed they continue to see your information. So also in the business manager, at the end of when an ad is run, it will show you how much you paid. It'll show you how many people it reached, and it will show you if people clicked on your link, kind of how much you paid per click, essentially. And a lot of that is hard to read, but you can overall, if you were just going to look at one number, kind of see how many people did we reach with this. And then when you have the event or you look at your numbers at the end of the season, you can kind of see, you know, how that was beneficial or where you should tweak it for the next year. Any questions on that before I go to the next one? All right, so I'm going to go through these and then I will share my screen and we'll actually set up an ad. So how to create a Facebook ad. You're going to first choose a goal. So you have the option to have someone, and you've probably seen it in your feed, where you can hit, you know, get messages. So maybe someone, there's an image and they click on it to get more information. So that might be an interesting way to know who is needing more information about the market. Perhaps, you know, message us if you want the map on how to get here. Then you could have contact with them. You can have an option to get more website visitors. That is always important. And as you're growing your SEO and getting more people familiar with your website, that's another way for them to go from Facebook to go to your web presence and interact there. You can promote your business. You can promote your page. Obviously, the more people that like your page, the more people see your stuff for free, essentially. So growing your audience is great. Build your business and get more customer contacts. I mean, I'm assuming if you could also get more vendors, right? They are paying you to be there. The vendors see you and see that everyone is interacting. And so then they want to be a part of your market. There are 3 ad components for a Facebook ad. So that means the visual, the image, which remember, you have awesome images. And so that could be maybe a picture of your market. It could be your logo, because sometimes you need people to know this is the logo for the market, and they're going to see it when they park, and they're going to see it with signs on how to get there. And that's really important. You can also do short videos. I would say if you've never done a Facebook ad, just start, you know, real basic, a beautiful image. Text, there can be text on the image and then the text in the ad as well. And then for that relates back to the goal is the call to action button. So whether they're going to message you, whether they're going to learn more on your website, whether they're going to go to your page and like your page, that would be the third part. So the visuals and the text and the call to action button. So really, why am I doing this ad? What do I want out of it? And how can I make sure that the people do what I want them to do? I'll pause in case there's any questions. All right, step 3 is to define your audience. And Kathleen, I will show you when we get into, when I do it, the call to action button really is, it's where you set your goal. So the call to action button, you would choose whether it is to go to your website, go to your page, get messages. It's just directing them to do whatever it is that you want them to do. Now, let's also think about defining your audience. So who wants to go to the farmer's market? I mean, personally, everyone goes to the farmer's market, right? All ages, but maybe you have a new program, maybe you have a new service that you really want to make sure. So maybe moms of babies, that's who you want. And you want them to not live far away because they're either going to walk there or they're going to drive there. And you want that to make it part of their weekly visit. So you could kind of target, you know, an age group, a gender, I don't know. We'll go in there and look. I don't know if probably interests of kids or, activities like that, you could define it to make sure it's showing it to that demographic and not an 85-year-old man who doesn't want to go to the farmer's market. Set your duration. Now, this can go back to, is it event I cannot talk today, specific, or is it more of an all over branding thing? If it's an event, you're obviously going to set it like leading up to it. So let's say you a week, 2 weeks before, you want to start really heavily promoting this in the location and to the people you've decided. When you go to your budget, there will be a slider, and I'll show you that. There's a slider that will show you if you spend this much per day, the ad will be shown to this many people from your goal. So you can slide that back and forth and kind of gauge on that. Once again, stick to your budget. I don't necessarily have like the magic answer for how much you should spend on a Facebook ad, but I do know that Facebook encourages you to spend with them, and it is unfortunately somewhat a pay to play. So I've seen some businesses kind of just every week spend what their budget is, and they're small businesses, they're not spending thousands of dollars a week. And I have seen an uptick of their shares or their posts being seen more. What that means really for you guys is if you have an event and you want to promote it and you do all this, I do think that it will be seen by more people than if you did it on your own. So the other thing to remember is when we're in the slider, so if it says $10 and then you set it for 7 days, that means you're spending $70. So if you want to spend $25 a day, you do the slider there. Before you check out at the end, it always has a spot where it says your total budget spent is $70. So you're not like tricked into thinking you're spending less and then you're spending more. They do also have an option for having a continuous ad. And that really is just for branding. Like the market is Saturday, 7 to noon in the image, and you can rotate a few images and it's just shown throughout whatever time period you pick, but you can kind of say indefinitely until you stop it. All right. Oh, this is a new option too for last couple of years, is you can have your ads show in both Facebook and Instagram. And in the screen, when you get down to it, it will say, look at what this ad will look like in Instagram, but you'll also have the option to turn it off. So if you don't want it on Instagram, I think you should probably show them on both. I think that it's beneficial. And especially, I think a lot of you have great Instagram pages, so it can be there as well. On Instagram, when you put your goal, you've probably seen it in your ads and you may not even know it was an ad. When you're scrolling on Instagram, you'll have the picture of whatever it is, and there will be a bar below it that's still like in the square frame that says learn more. And if you were to click on that, it takes them to their website. It might take you to a Facebook page. That is an ad. If you look closer, it will say sponsored. They're transparent, but it's kind of hidden when you're scrolling. And so that is kind of what yours would look like too. So then they could click on it there and go wherever you wanted them to go. Any questions on that? And then we can do one together. Okay. Let me just get this figured out real fast. Okay. This is not a farmer's market. This is a retail store, and we are going to just go ahead and use their back. They are my client. I didn't like hack into them, but we will look and we'll kind of see if we were going to do an ad what that would look like and kind of the steps to do it. When you are in the business Facebook screen, and hopefully you all have business accounts, because that's really important. I mean, especially because Facebook is now giving you all these tools that you can see the metrics. So definitely this is beneficial to you, and this is free. It's with your business account. So you have everything that you're seeing on my screen, you have on your screen when you have a business account. They do give you some prompts and things that you might want to think about. So that is kind of nice, especially as you're new. I also think that the bottom line is that as you're learning this and messing with it, like, it's okay to try some things, and you might make a mistake, and that's okay. Like, you're going to try it. This really worked well. Make a mental note, do it again next time that way. Okay. So I just think it's important to know that it's okay to keep trying at this until you get it. And also that this is, it is an art and it is not a science, because we are not in control of what Facebook shows or does not show, even when we do all this hard work, right? So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can go down and you can see ads. Click on that. Loading. Okay. So in here, you can see these are ads that have been completed. So what that really means is, if I were going to set an ad and I thought that this ad right here that had 2,834 reach, if I'm like, that is amazing, I'm going to go in and I want to look at, I'm going to review the results on that. Why was that so amazing? What did it say? What did it do? And this one, let's see if you can. So when you open the results, you can see, well, $50 was spent over 4 days. The post engagements were 357, the reach, and then that tells you per people that saw it was about 14 cents, which is kind of nice to know, because when you think about it that way, it's like, oh, okay. And then you can look at the audience. Who are the people that are looking at it? Does it match up to who you set that you wanted to be seen? And then you can look at what the ad looked like over here. Now, I would say, just knowing this is a cute ad. Let's see if we can see it. So the ad was, the weekends are for friends, right? And then the people really got into that because, well, one, in this case, people know these two women in our town. They think that's an adorable photo, right? It shows lots of feeling and people want to talk about that. So that was what the ad was for. So now let's go create a different one. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, here we go. Let's create an ad. So if we hit create an ad, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your goal. So let's say we would like to get more website visitors. That's important, especially, people really want to find out the information about the market. So we're going to get more website visitors. Now, here is where we talked about the 3 different types of ad assets that you're going to need. You are going to need an image. This option gives you up to 5 different images or videos that you can select media and put it in there, and that your images that are already in Facebook, you can use them straight from there. You can add that in, which means it depends on which one they may show to people, and that's great because that'll work, and they're all beautiful images. So you're going to do that. Then in the description, you're going to use your wording that you want to use. Once again, in the ad, just like your posts, it can be the they kind of auto-populated this one, but just, this is about branding. Do you love shopping? So then you can visit this place here, and then it gives the website address, and then the headline is the part right here on the ad that people would see. So literally over here on the right-hand side, this is what the ad would be in Facebook. So this would allow people, there's the website. You could change you could change the actual headline if you wanted to, like click here now, you could do, but the button really allows you to pick what you want the button to say. So the button can say, apply now, book now, contact us, donate, download, whatever it is, sign up. Maybe you are having people, you're using this for people to sign up to come to this event, really push that. It could take them there. Any of those button options you could use. Okay, so you could change, let's do this, sign up to be a vendor. And then literally sign up, and let's go look. It should show us the preview. So then you could say what you wanted to do. Your website's still there, and then they would click to do it. Now, the next part, the special ad category. So the credit, employment, housing, social issues, elections, or policies, I don't assume that would affect any of you, but I'm sure Janie or Natalie can answer any of those questions. I don't think it would. So you don't have to turn that on. Now you can go down here to the audience, and you can set your audience. Now, the smart audience, they kind of just say, oh, here's a good one for you. But let's say you really want to do the details. So this audience was set up with people you choose through targeting, and you can go in and edit that. And then you're going to choose, right? You're going to choose people between an age. So you can move that around. You can also choose gender, whether it be men and women, or just men, or just women. I live in Champaign, so this one is already set like Champaign and 10 miles around. Maybe you can also do this, like you want to kind of make it bigger. This also right here will kind of tell you, like, is this a good match or not? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just want to close that out. So you can, once you kind of choose who you want to target, it will save that in there. So if you want to save it under, like, see here, we have book reviewers. That's an audience that I did for an author who was doing a book. So it was a certain age, very specific book, and it was people that, review books. There it is. So then you don't have to go in and do all the little details each time you set an ad. So you can pick all of that. Then when you go down to the schedule and duration, here's your two options like we talked. Run this ad continuously. So it's a daily budget and you just keep going, or choose when this ad will end. So if we're the event and it is in 14 days, it's going to run for 14 days. And every day I'm going to spend $5. In the end over here, it shows you $70. When you move this, so if you're going to spend $100 a day, you can see this is the estimated daily reach. So no matter what you spend, that's their estimated daily reach. And then, you know what, I sometimes even screenshot that so then I can compare that to what really happened. But that allows you to stay within budget and see how many people to reach. If you want to reach more people in a shorter time, you could say, let's do less days, but still, spend a similar amount of money, just spend more per day, and it reaches more people. Then down here, where do you want your ad to be seen? Obviously, you made the ad on Facebook, so it's going to show on Facebook. Then you can show it on Instagram or have it also pop up in Messenger. I would definitely, if you don't like that feature, that's fine. You can just do Facebook and Instagram, and that's where people will make sure they see it. I think also, I must be down here, sorry. Oh, down here, the payment method is where you click into there and you're able to put in your credit card. And then you can make sure that it's on the correct card. So maybe you have one personal and one business. The other thing is at the end, when your ad is all done, you will receive an email with a receipt. So if you need that for the market, that's a great way to make sure that you have all of your stuff for taxes and know why you did that one. When you hit promote now, it will go to a screen that's saying your ad is being basically in review. So when it's being in review, you will get an email. You'll get an email that says your ad is now running. This ad right here, I just started it this morning. And so it's right there. It's like $1.29 out of $40 has already been spent since this morning when I made this ad. So then you can always go in on from the left-hand side to all ads, and you can look as they're running and kind of see what's happening. And if you think, man, no one is even looking at this, you can always cancel an ad if you need to, or if you're like, I want to change it, you can do that. But you will, once you say, you go through all those steps and you hit, promote it, wait, then it's not running immediately. You will get an email that says now it's running. Okay. Anyone have any questions about that? I know we're running out of time. I'm going to talk faster. Okay, I'm going to think no one has any questions. I'm going to keep going. Going live on Facebook from your phone. So we are going to pull that up. I think I can do it. Natalie's going to help me. We're going to pull it up on my phone. So like I was saying, why do we want to do it from our phone? Well, you guys are like in the market, right? People want to see there, feel what it's like. And really, I think the best way for you is going to be to go live from your phone. Now, there are really fancy ways that you can go live from having another camera, having lights, kind of creating this whole atmosphere. I think that those are all great. And if that's something that you want to investigate, there's kind of there's third-party apps and stuff that really can take that to a next level. And I think it's great, but I don't think you need to start there. I think you have your phone, and that's a great place to start. We're going to turn on my phone and we'll be right back. All right. You don't need to see me twice. Okay, we're going to share my phone. Screen. And start. Okay, here we go. Let's go to Facebook. There's my kids again near Santa. Business Suite. We're just going to go to a page. So I know sometimes when I have multiple pages, it's hard to know, and you guys will only have one. So I'm going to go, well, let me do it. Hold on just a second. Just check which way. Here it is. Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure I had it right before I showed it to you. All right, here we go. If we are in our page, I'm going to use the same page I was using before, just so you get a feel for it. I went to the boutiques page. There's your page. This is how it will look for you. You can go down and create a post. When you go to create a post, you can do a live video. So it's not going to put you live right away. You're going to have a minute. So what you're going to do is you're going to, put words. These are the words that are going to kind of catch everyone's attention. So let's say check out, I'm going to use this hashtag behind the scenes, type behind the scenes, look at the market. And then you could also put in wording. I would put in wording, just to redirect people that what happens every week. So remember, you can stop by the market every Saturday, 7 to noon, whatever that you want to say. You could also use very fun emojis here. So that's the wording you would use. Then at the top, you can use up here at the public post. I would say, yes, you're going to do public. You could do, when you hit it right there, sorry, you can change that to private if you wanted to. There'd really be no reason to do that. You can change the way the camera goes. So now that's kind of freaky, but then you can see, so if you were walking around the market, you could take it with you. There's Natalie. Can you see Natalie? There we go. And then you can always move it back around to talk to yourself as you are saying whatever you want to say. Obviously, I'm not going to hit go live because this is a client of mine that obviously is not a farmer's market. There are, at the top left hand, there are super fun stickers, filters. Honestly, I don't think you need to start with this stuff. If you want to look like here we go, look at this, a 1980s cat poster, great. But honestly, you don't need to start with all that. But if you really want to, you could. I'm going to come back. Okay, so let me go right back to here and then we'll almost be done. So kind of Facebook with the camera, all those stickers and options, they are super fun. Honestly, for a live video, they're distracting to me personally, but maybe you really like them. I think where we can get really into the stickers and the words and all that sort of stuff are on Reels and TikToks and short videos and stories, which we'll talk about on Monday. And those can be used in a fun way and they're not so obtrusive. I also think, especially for you guys, if you're walking through the market, we don't need all these other things going on around. These are just some short notes. Like I said, you guys, I think for you, the phone will be the best option because of what you do. There are tons of apps, programs, services where you could, have two people talking, go live, use your computer, or get actually extra cameras and have different lines showing in. But really, I think you guys should focus on the basics and just using, if you're going to go live on your phone, just go live on your phone. Here's another really fun tip. You do this live video and for some reason you trip and fall. Okay, stop the live video. It'll say stop, delete it. It doesn't live there forever. So don't be scared. Let's say you do a live video and you just hated it. You just delete it. Don't worry about it. One other thing, I think I talk about it on the next one. These are just kind of like the step-by-step, but when you first hit go live, don't just jump right into it. Okay. Just take a breath and kind of wait, because if you've ever been on Facebook, you'll know that in your notification center, you'll start getting, ooh, Jennifer Newell is going live. And if that's something you want to see, you're going to click on that and it'll take you to the live video. It will also be it just kind of catches up. So you just kind of give it a break, or maybe you can talk to the person next to you, or you could start walking through the market, kind of like, here we are, we're going to get started, or here it is on a Saturday morning, and give people a chance to catch up. When you are going live, you can see at the top left-hand corner how many people are watching it. But here's the great thing. Let's say 5 people watched it when you were live. Well, you can keep using that video throughout. It doesn't go anywhere. So you can save that. It's on your Facebook page. So maybe I wasn't on when you went live, but that seemed really interesting to me and I wanted to watch it. So you can catch it up, and you can do that. Let's say you interview a vendor. That vendor can take, after the video is posted on your page, they can share that video to their page, or vice versa. If one of your vendors makes a really cool video, you could share theirs to your page. And that's kind of what the last point I wanted to make was just going live. You can cross post them. You can put the links if you have groups. Maybe you're in other groups. Maybe you're in a group with other farmer market managers, and you could share the link and say, hey, we did this and it was awesome. And then they could, or maybe you're teaching something in that and they say, I want to share that video too. And so they can use it. Also, you can embed the videos into your website. When the video is done, you'll see it underneath, there's an embed code. And if that sounds like you've never heard of that, then don't worry about it. But you can basically take the video from Facebook and put it into your website so people could see it there as well, which might be a nice little thing if you had like a series, mornings at the market. I'm making this up, and then you could have kind of them cataloged on the website as well. We did try it, but there is also, once people start commenting, this is like a really, I don't know, this is a pretty high tech thing, but I wanted to tell you it was there. I don't really change the rate people can talk back to you while you're live, because I think it's good to have conversation. So when you're going live in the screen, you're going to start seeing people comment. And, they might say, hey, Janie, I'm here. And you could talk going live. You can talk back and say, hey, but you want to watch. If it starts to go too fast, if you start having millions of people commenting on your videos, there are ways to slow that down. And these are the ways to do that. And when you'll have this, you can go back and you kind of look at that, but that can kind of slow things down. Also, let's see. You can restrict viewers. I don't think you'll need that, but I don't know. Sometimes there's trolls on the internet that you don't want them anymore participating, and you can restrict people from being able to view it, even if it's a public video. So we tried that. And just like with our Instagram one, you guys are the expert. You guys know your market, you know your people, you know the people around there, and you know kind of the feel that you want for your market. So you are the expert. If you're sharing the story of your market, sharing about the people, that is going to come through in your normal posts and in your ads, and people will want to be a part of that. Like I said, try, fail. Digital marketing is awesome because you can delete it. You didn't spend $5,000 on a billboard. You tried something and it failed, and that's okay. Consistency to me is always key. And whatever that is, I hope, we're going to leave here. I hope you kind of say, okay, my new goal is I am going to post, every Tuesday and Thursday before market, whatever that is. And it's going to get easier and easier. And the great part is that Facebook has allowed all the scheduling tools and things to help you be successful. So on Saturday morning or whatever day of the market your market is on, you're not frantically trying to think, what should I post about? It can be thought out and consistent each week. So are there any questions? Kathleen, I think, yes, you get a link after it's all over. Yep.
Are there any questions for Jennifer? Well, we'd like to thank Jennifer for sharing information about how to go live on Facebook and create creating effective ads. And we'd also like to thank everyone for joining us on today's webinar.
Thanks, guys.